What is up, everybody out there in podcast land? Penny for your thoughts. Oh, wait. Well, there's plenty of pennies.
There's plenty. It's going to be a long-ass time before they're gone.
Yep. Yeah, and they can always grind it back, start it back up again in 5 or 10 years if they have to. I had a vision, though. I did. Hi, kids. Welcome to Sports Frenzy 2.0. This is the kind of silly stuff your Uncle Dave, the conquistador Dave Height, and I do.
Yep, and that is the maestro, Kevin Crane, your favorite uncle.
So, of course, today, they minted the last penny, right?
Yeah.
And there are going to be plenty in circulation, so don't worry about it.
So don't hoard them, people. Don't hoard them. They're not going to be worth anything more.
But I had a vision. Of course,
Was it double?
A negative vision. Ha ha ha. Very good. Very good. I could see myself a couple years from now. I don't know, maybe we're coming back from a concert and we stop at a 7-Eleven or someplace for a bathroom break coming back from Indy, right? And I decide I want to get some beef jerky, or a bag of chips or something, and dealing with Abdul, the guy behind the counter, saying, I can't give you change. I have no pennies. We're going to have to round up. And then I'm going to go ballistic on his ass and say, you don't get to decide that. I don't have to pay you more because you're not accepting or you don't have legal American tender.
This is what you get when a decision is made like this.
I know it's years down the road.
All the prices are going to have to get jimmied around to incorporate sales tax to end on the 5 or the 0.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, but again, they said there's so many that, like you said, don't hoard them.
Yeah.
There's plenty out there where it's not going to be a problem.
No, it won't be an issue at all.
But I'm telling you, there's going to be some corrupt sons of bitches out there.
Well, yeah.
Who are going to pull that crap and say, you're going to have to round everything up because we don't have any pennies.
No.
So they're going to be pocketing.
I think you need to round down.
Yeah, like they're going to do that. And that's why I'm saying, then there's going to be a brouhaha between me and Abu. Just saying, I'm going to end up throwing the Doritos right in his face. Anyway.
Mass chaos. Maestro style.
Welcome to your favorite politically incorrect sports commentary podcast. Sorry about that little tangent, but I love my tangents and my rants and my ravings. Uncle Dave and I, of course, here on November the 12th. This will drop early on November the 13th. Still in the heart of football season, not the heart of Texas.
Football.
Now see, now you're mocking me, because now you sound like Abu behind the counter.
That is not what I was trying to do with that one. That is a completely different voice.
Do me a favor, say, I'm going to have to round your purchase up.
And I'm going to have to round up your purchase, sir.
No, you don't, you son of a bitch! Take these Doritos back!
Why, thank you. I will now charge you double.
Oh, God. What do we start every podcast episode with at this time of year, Dave?
I think I just said it. Football. Tangent boy.
All right, kids. So we look back at last week, of course, first and foremost in the NFL. Now, we did not pick this game. But I have to go back to last Thursday.
Oh, my God.
Because
do we have to?
We had bookend train wrecks this past week in the NFL. NFL
God.
Week 10, we started on Thursday with one of the worst games I've ever seen.
It was so bad.
Between the Broncos and the Raiders.
I mean, it wasn't even good defensive play. It was awful play in all 3 phases of the game for both teams.
Of course, I had Bo Nix starting on my fantasy team, so that was a disaster. And
yeah, well, Cortland Sutton didn't do me many favors
and then I had
either.
Brock Bowers after his 40-plus point game last week. Can't sit him on the bench. Should have. Tyler Warren did a hell of a lot better.
Good Lord.
But then, of course, we'll get to the Monday night game, which just was a perfect complement.
Of ineptitude?
Yeah, start the week off like shit, end the week off like shit. But then we had some interesting games on Sunday, November the 9th. We start off with the second to last morning game overseas. Not bad. I have my complaints. I still think Raheem Morris should get shit canned as soon as possible. I know they might wait till the end of the year.
But there were some bad decisions in that game.
Colts end up winning over in Berlin, 31-25 in overtime. Jonathan Taylor, Jesus God.
He's a beast.
And again, if it wasn't for the bias in favor of the quarterbacks, Jonathan Taylor should be the runaway, clear-cut favorite for the MVP right now.
Absolutely. He
but of course,
deserves it more than anybody else.
But Saquon Barkley was last year, too, and he didn't win it.
The MVP is not a quarterback award. I'm sorry.
That's why they have the Offensive Player of the Year. That's for the running backs and the wide receivers.
I hate that the MVP has become a quarterback award.
We should have had at least...
Much like the Heisman is generally a quarterback award in college.
Generally. Not always. Generally. Because I do believe one Travis Hunter won it last year. But he had to play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, to get any credit.
We should have had at least two non-quarterback MVPs in the NFL in the last decade. Saquon Barkley last year, and then Cooper Kupp. I can't remember how many years ago it was.
That was
Cooper
just a handful of years ago.
Cooper Kupp deserved the MVP that year. He just went off. And caught
Derrick Henry deserved one in there, too.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But no, it's always the goddamn quarterbacks. Yes, that deserves a horn of disgrace. But... okay, so the Colts win. Colts are still playing much, much better than I ever thought they would this year. Yes, I am one of the people, and I admit it, who thought the Colts would finish dead last in the AFC South. I thought the Titans would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, no, they are
they're destroying
disaster.
Cam Ward. They're just like the Browns destroyed Baker Mayfield, just like the Patriots destroyed Mac Jones. So he's going to end up in 4 or 5 years having to go somewhere else to resuscitate his career.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Colts and Jonathan Taylor, again, unbelievable year for him. My complaint is with the Atlanta Falcons. And, yes, I hate Raheem Morris. He's wasting Michael Penix.
Big time.
Penix is another guy who needs a better offensive mind working with him
to get the best out of him and to develop him.
And then yes, it's fantasy football bullshit, but I don't care. Why are you've already wasted Kyle Pitts, by the way. Kyle Pitts is going to be out of there after this year. Should have been one of the better tight ends in the league over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, wasted.
Always underperforming. Sometimes his fault, but most of the time not.
They don't look his way.
And now they're wasting Bijan Robinson. Now, we have to get Tyler Algier involved.
Why?
Look at your record. It's not working. Bijan Robinson is the best goddamn running back in terms of pure talent out there, and you won't give him the ball.
Absolute stupidity that these coaches think you have to have a 2-back system.
And I noticed this year with the Eagles. We'll get to the Eagles, our shit show bookend, but they're starting to rest Barkley a lot this year.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Tank Bigsby and Shipley running the ball Monday night.
I don't understand what you're doing.
When you have got a unique talent,
you get the ball in their hands as much as possible.
The Ravens don't do this to Derrick Henry. I guarantee they don't care. If he's having an off night, they'll still give him the ball 25 times.
Because eventually he will probably break it. You wear the defense down for the end of the game.
So in the end, to summarize, AFC South, NFC South, the Buccaneers, with their brutal schedule, and we'll talk about them in a minute, are just basically going to be handed the NFC South again because of the inept play of the Saints, the Panthers, and the Falcons.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the Colts are going to be handed the AFC South because of the inept play of the Jaguars, the Titans, and the Texans.
Yeah.
Although, what a game that was. We'll get to that in a second. Now, I have a confession to make here as we move on to our Bears game of the week. As the Bears come from behind and beat the Giants 24-20.
I did not get to see this because I had an event I had to attend.
Well, shit, we've really let everybody down, haven't we? Because you know what I did? I got lucky. We talked about this last week. They actually had the Patriots-Buccaneers game on.
So you got to watch your Bucks.
Yes, lose, of course, but
yeah.
I actually got to watch quality football. So I was all in on the Patriots-Bucks. I was like, sorry, Bears, I got to watch this.
You don't get to see the Buccaneers play that often, so you had to take advantage of the situation. I get it.
Exactly. With however they decide who gets to see what game and when.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell did we get Patriots-Buccaneers? I mean, because the Colts were on at 9:30, I guess?
Probably.
So I did watch the first quarter on the DVR, but I never got through the whole game. I saw the highlights. I heard a lot of commentary from New York sports radio, of course, because that's what I listened to, about how the Giants' defense basically acted like in the fourth quarter they weren't allowed to touch Caleb Williams. And that leads to Brian Daboll being fired as the head coach of the Giants.
Yeah, but you talk about Williams not being touched. How about the deliberate knee to the head that he took, and there was no call? They're always protecting every quarterback on any ticky-tack touch except for Caleb. He can get hit in the head 7 ways from Tuesday, and they never throw the fucking flag. He takes the late hit out of bounds, doesn't get the flag. He slides, takes a late hit, doesn't get the flag. It's ridiculous.
Now, on the opposite side, Jackson Dart did leave with a concussion, briefly, because I believe he came back. Because another thing that the New York media was talking about was how they brought Russell Wilson in for a couple plays, and they wouldn't let him throw the ball because they had no faith in him. So that's why this week, the news is out now, Dart is out. Will not clear concussion protocol. Famous Jameis!
Yep, Mr. Winston.
Jameis Winston. And actually, I'm hearing New York fans are fired up about this.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is washed up.
He is.
He was
fell off
washed,
a cliff.
He was washed up after that last year in Seattle. Denver never should have traded for him and signed him to that extension. And what the hell was the Giants thinking in bringing him in? Absolutely. Again, it shows what a shitty organization the Giants are, or have become.
Yep, and now we're hearing names, of course, with Daboll being fired, but they're keeping the GM.
That does no good. He's the idiot who put this squad together.
But I'm hearing Steve Spagnuolo coming back. They're saying Lane Kiffin. Like, Lane Kiffin would never take this job.
Belichick's name's been bandied about.
Belichick. No. And Antonio Pierce?
No.
Wow, that would be...
That's dragging the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. You're the New York Giants. Aren't you supposed to be one of the legacy organizations?
You would think. Eek.
But anyway, we got our coach. We got our quarterback. We're good. We're 6-3 now with a really, really rough stretch coming up.
Yeah. We know now Caleb can lead the comeback. We just need for him to perform up to that point, to not have to do the comeback.
Should have traded DJ Moore. We don't need him.
No,
He's not
we
doing
don't.
anything. He's not.
No. You
Zacchaeus.
get more from Zacchaeus and Burden.
Yeah. Yeah. We could have, I don't know how much dead cap we would have taken on, but, now we're going to have to go into the off season with him, and he's probably going to start getting disgruntled, and...
Oh, well.
Yeah, you're better off going into 2026 with Burden and Odunze.
As your 1-2.
I would like to keep Zacchaeus as a number 3.
He's solid as a number 3 in the slot.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, we got some help in the NFC North from the Baltimore Ravens. As the Baltimore Ravens went up to Minneapolis.
Took care of business.
And, of course, that comeback everybody's been talking about is definitely happening, as they're now only a game out of first place after that awful 1-5 start. Now they're 4-5, and they're only one game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what everybody knew was coming. Get Lamar healthy.
Just wait for it.
Yep. They go into Minneapolis. They beat the Vikings 27-19.
Always a good thing.
How about my New York Jets coming through for me? Even though Justin Fields threw for, 54 yards?
God.
But they had, a kickoff return for a touchdown, a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, special teams led the day on that one for the Jets.
And I'm sorry. Let's lay off Dylan Gabriel. My God, can we give the guy a little bit of time? Everybody's already calling for his head already.
He's got nobody to throw to.
And he still had 2 touchdowns and no picks, I believe. Now, he only completed a little over 50% of his passes. But you're right, he's got nobody on the outside to throw to. Everybody's saying he's got a weenie
duress.
arm. Everybody say so. He's got a weenie arm. So don't be shocked if, God help us, we see Shedeur Sanders.
At some point.
Yeah.
What have they got to lose right now?
You want to talk about the worst run organization in the NFL?
It's in Cleveland.
Yeah, there are a lot of them, but Cleveland's got to be the worst. Kevin Stefanski has got to be, we say this every week, got to be just begging the football god.
Fire me.
Yes.
Fire me, please.
I guarantee he gets a job in 5 minutes somewhere else. But I got the pick right. That's all that matters. Jets beat the Browns 27-20, so now the only team in the NFL with one loss is unfortunately the Tennessee Titans. I feel so bad for Cam Ward. So bad. And they're throwing him under the bus already. Like,
There's
Jesus
nothing
Christ.
there.
Can you please give the guy some time to learn the system?
How about we stop?
To give him a good head coach.
How about we stop throwing the rookie quarterbacks out there right off the bat? Let's go back to how it used to be, where they sat for a little while. Yeah. Come on. Do some developing.
Well, look at the Packers. Our mortal enemies. The Packers always do this right. They get Brett Favre. Then they draft Aaron Rodgers, let Aaron Rodgers sit for a few years behind Favre, and then Rodgers takes off, and then they let Jordan Love sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a few years. That's the way to do it.
Exactly.
This is why Green Bay has only had 3 quarterbacks in the last, 30 years?
About that.
25 to 30 years, right?
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
This is the game, of course, I watched instead of the Bears. Patriots beat the Buccaneers down in Tampa Bay, 28-23. I will tell you this, watching that game, Buccaneers offense did nothing wrong. There were no turnovers. Baker threw for 3 touchdowns. He looked fine. Yes, they still don't have Mike Evans. They still don't have Chris Godwin. They still don't have Bucky Irving, but they're doing the best. The problem was with the defense. The run defense was awful.
That had been a strong suit to them, but it let them down this week.
Yep, they were able to contain Drake May fairly well. They picked him off in the end zone to stop a big drive. Everybody's going, oh my God, finally, Travion Henderson had a big game. He had 2 huge runs because there was no contain on the outside on the defense. So once he bounced it outside on these 2 runs, boom, he's gone for a touchdown, 60 yards. Boom, he's gone for a touchdown, 60 yards. That's why he had a big game. Two huge runs.
Plays. That does not necessarily, that's not an indicator of having a great day.
It was bad contain on the run defense for the Bucs. That's why they lost the game. And that's on Todd Bowles. He's the defensive guy, right?
Yep.
He's calling the defense.
He did not adapt.
Nope. And so now the Buccaneers drop to 6-3. And I think a sneak preview for our picks, probably 6-4 after this coming week. Here we go.
Good God.
I'm gonna tout myself, blow my own horn, blow me down, blow myself.
Blow yourself.
I went 9-1 in the pros this week, dude.
You finally showed up.
No, I always show up in the pros because I have to make up for what shitty crap I do in college. I'm always the worst in college and the best in the pros. And it always evens out where I finish 4th or 5th in our picks. Always. This was a typical week for me. But the Houston Texans, God bless them. When I was looking at that going, well, I got to write that one down as a loss. Come back, storm back in the 4th quarter because I knew
the Jaguars defense,
the Jaguars team, the Jaguars organization
is a shit show.
They're cursed. They are cursed.
They conned
It
themselves
doesn't matter who
again.
the coach is. It can be Doug Peterson. It can be Liam Duval. It doesn't matter.
They're just not good.
There is a black, dark cloud hovering over this organization. So the Texans storm all the way back. Davis Mills, for the love of God, storms all the way back, runs in the winning touchdown, and then they get a cheap defensive touchdown at the end to make it look like it was a little bit
more lopsided.
Bigger margin of victory than it really was.
But
Texans,
good Lord.
36-29. And this is why I was saying they're handing the AFC South to the Colts.
Yeah.
Is what's happening.
Yep. Stupid Niners. Stupid Niners.
Can I say something about, the Rams win. They go in to Levi's Stadium and beat
destroy the Niners.
42-26. Can we stop acting like Kyle Shanahan is one of the top 5 coaches in the league? I know he's had to deal with injuries. That, number one, is something they need to fix. Get a training staff in there that can keep these guys healthy.
We've talked about it everywhere.
But number two, why do we keep saying, because he's been to a couple Super Bowls?
He hasn't won one.
He hasn't won them. And now they didn't make the playoffs last year, and now
they're not going to this year.
No,
either.
they keep going like this. No way in hell. And Christian McCaffrey, their teams are finally figuring out. Shut him down,
and they're done.
Yeah. Even though Mac Jones still looks really good, and I'm telling you, he's going to get a starting job somewhere next year.
Yeah, but they've got nobody to throw to.
And
when's Ayuk coming back?
Yeah, I don't even think he's coming back this year.
Doesn't look like it.
And the defense is dinged up, and that seems to be the big problem. But the Rams are playing at another level.
The Rams were ridiculous in that game.
And I was one of the idiots that thought that this would be the comeback year for the 49ers.
Nope.
And everybody else that was saying, no, the Rams, you better watch out for the Rams. They were right. The Rams look unstoppable when they're completely healthy.
Yeah.
When they've got Puka Nacua.
They're keeping Stafford upright, too.
Yeah. And, by the way, Matthew Stafford this past weekend becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to have 3 consecutive games with 4 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions.
That's insane.
Yeah. And you want to talk about MVP? If we're going to go quarterback, he's probably the front runner.
You have to have Stafford at the top.
Yeah. I keep hearing Drake May bullshit.
No, Drake May is not a freaking MVP. Sorry.
No, I'd say Stafford right now. Stafford's got to be.
Forget this.
I still say Jonathan Taylor, number one.
Taylor, then maybe Stafford. Not Drake May. Stop this Patriots fucking love fest.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much better when the Patriots are winning.
No, it's not. No, it's not. All right.
Lions bounce back. Of course, Dan Campbell took over play calling duties for this game.
Yep, they've been scuffling offensively. He decided to shake things up, and they double up the Commanders 44-22.
Yeah, and let's not blame Dan Quinn. This is a lost season for the Commanders.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels done, and then
they got no running backs. They've got, Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin is non-existent.
Yeah, your weekly Terry McLaurin isn't playing update.
Should we start nicknaming him the street clothes of the NFL for this season?
Yeah, we'll talk about the true other street clothes later.
I've got him down too.
But, Terry McLaurin held out through the entire preseason, finally got his deal.
Wasn't in game shape in not even ready for the season. Got dinged up, and now he's continually dinged up.
Yeah, so all they've got is Deebo Samuel, and that's it.
We know how that goes.
Yeah. They've got they don't have enough on defense. The Commanders, I don't want to say they need a complete teardown and rebuild.
They need a slight overhaul.
Yeah. They have got to
they've got a nucleus.
And number one, they got to keep Jaden Daniels upright. Because if he ends up going down that RG3 road, that's going to be a tragedy.
Yep, for sure.
Sunday night game, I was very, very proud of the Chargers because I called this. I said Jim Harbaugh would figure out a way to adjust after losing those two tackles on the offensive line.
He adapted.
Rashawn Slater, that was earlier in the year. Justin Herbert's getting that ball out quick now.
Yep.
Quick as possible.
He took some cheap shots in that game, too.
Yep. And Aaron Rodgers is just about shot.
There's not much there.
No. No. And he doesn't have much to work with.
No.
He really doesn't.
There's nothing there on that Steelers offense
He had
either.
That one awful interception wasn't his fault. Because outside of DK Metcalf and those tight ends, he's got nobody to throw the ball to. Tries to get it to Calvin Austin, goes right through his hands, and then the defender picks it off.
Inexcusable. You have got to hold on to that ball at this level.
So Chargers go 25-10 at SoFi Stadium. They win, and as I mentioned, now the Steelers drop to 5-4, and they are now firmly in the clutches
of the Ravens.
I want to do an Edgar Allan Poe. I just want to, but
never more. Never more. Aaron Rodgers, never more.
There you go. And then, as we said, we have to bookend the awful, terrible, no good,
very bad game
from Thursday night with another one on Monday night.
God.
And by the way, again, as a public service announcement to all you people out there like me who have YouTube TV, and there's now still no end in sight to the showdown between Disney and YouTube TV. We'll talk more about that on the weekend edition, trust me. You do have something called over-the-air television. You realize this, right?
There is an antenna.
I've been able to watch Monday Night
Football.
Football.
Everything in.
I've been able to watch Monday Night Football with no problem. Now, I can't DVR it, but that's all right.
Big deal.
Yeah, I watched this entire game. This entire game. Which was just about as bad as the Thursday night game.
Eek.
The Eagles win 10-7. I have got so much to discuss because these are supposedly the two top teams, along with the Rams, in the NFC.
What are the Packers showing this year? Absolutely nothing.
The three losses, they're 5-3-1 right now. The three losses, they've barely done anything in terms of offense. I've never been a big Jordan Love fan, but I also feel kind of bad for him.
He's got no receivers.
We've talked about this. And Aaron Rodgers bitched about this.
Yeah, the Packers don't draft receivers.
And it's obvious when he lost Tucker Kraft, that hurt that offense. I mean, it could be a fatal death blow to that offense.
But where's the great LaFleur?
Finally, like I was just talking about with Kyle Shanahan, finally, people are starting to say, Matt LaFleur better turn this thing around or he's going to get his ass canned. Because people in Green Bay are starting to see he might be a little bit of a sham in terms of a coach. I mean, Josh Jacobs can only do so much for you.
You have got to throw the ball. Complimentary.
But now the Eagles aren't exactly lighting the world on fire.
No, they aren't. That offense is stunning.
And I'm going to tell you, Nick Sirianni, at the end of that game, I was yelling at the TV because, of course, you and I picked the Eagles. And I'm like, okay, Eagles are going to win. And Sirianni's literally trying to lose the game. They got the ball on, the 40-yard line? Green Bay's got no timeouts left.
Yeah, run the damn ball.
No, but they were stopped, 4th down. So what do you're on the 40-yard line, roughly. You're out of field goal range, or it would be a miracle. You don't even want to put your kicker in that position.
No, you don't try that.
So what do you do? 4th and long, what do you do?
4th and long, you punt it and try and pin them back.
Sirianni went for it on 4th down. And it was an incomplete pass. He gives the Packers, who are only down a field goal, the ball back on the 40-yard line.
Idiot.
And I'm sitting there going, what are you doing? What are you doing? And now that I think about it, I think the Packers actually had
this
a
is
timeout or two left.
Opposite of what Daboll did that got him fired. Going for a field goal on the half-yard line. Idiots.
So, yeah, they end up getting far enough down the field, the Packers did. You've got a kicker who's just coming off a leg injury, Brandon McManus. And then they ask him, well, could you go out there and maybe kick a 57-yard field goal for us? And, of course, he completely shanked it. So, again, Nick Sirianni,
on every level.
I really want to try to give him credit as being a good head coach.
You can't. He lives and dies with his coordinators.
And Vic Fangio, that defense. Jalen Phillips, my God, coming over from the Dolphins, he had an amazing game. He was all over the place. And we talked about, this is the front office of the Eagles that's winning these games.
Yeah,
with the moves they've made, the trades they've made, the draft picks they've made, the free agents they've signed. Sirianni's doing everything in his power to botch this all up and lose.
I was on his case the beginning of last year for the way he ended the year before.
Right. Yeah, they just tanked it. Completely tanked it the year before the Super Bowl.
And then they lucked out into a Super Bowl because of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, so now I got to tell you. We got a game coming this Sunday. We're going to talk a little bit about the news of the week because we're done with our recap. And then we're going to have our picks for this week. And there is a game. I was begging for the Patriots Buccaneers, and I got it. I am going to beg for this game to be on TV this coming Sunday.
Yeah, I know. This should be a slobber knocker.
All right, little bit of news here in the NFL before we get to our picks for NFL Week 11. Congratulations to one Keenan Allen, who was with the Bears last year, went back to the Chargers and just caught a couple passes, I believe, in the Steelers game Sunday night. But he is now number one.
All-time on the Chargers reception list.
Yep, 956. So good for him. I believe he passed Antonio Gates.
Yes.
Injuries, of course, our weekly injury rundown. The Jets look like they rushed Garrett Wilson back. The Jets, yes, of the 54 yards passing. So Garrett Wilson looks like he is going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks with that knee that was bothering him. over the last week or two. This just came down today. This is one of those fluky things. This isn't a long-term issue, but the Arizona Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Ouch,
appendicitis.
appendix. Oof.
Yep. So he's going to, now with modern medicine, he's not going to be out that long, but he's definitely
going to be out a couple of weeks.
But he's going to be out at least this week, yeah. So that definitely takes any mystery to me out of the game that we're going to be picking here in a few minutes involving Arizona. And then again, that injury involving Travis Hunter must have been extremely severe, even though it happened in practice, so none of us really saw it.
No, it was a non-contact when he was on playing defense, probably made a cut and tweaked the knee, tore the LCL.
Yep, he is done for the year as he had to undergo knee surgery. Your guy, your fantasy football quarterback, is getting pretty close, Dave. If you can just hang in there for a couple weeks.
I know, Joe Burrow's cleared for limited practice.
Yeah, he's got a 21-day window here. I'm hearing that they're hoping to get him back for Thanksgiving.
That would be lucky if they could do that.
And I don't know about these toes. I don't know how
the turf toe
when they
thing
blow out the knee, it's definitive. You know it's done. It's over.
But if it's the big toe and you're pushing off with that thing.
So Burrow had the procedure done. Now he's back, like you said, at practice, limited. I mean, Brock Purdy's going through the same thing in San Francisco, but he didn't have the procedure.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get it out, but he can't get on the field. All because of a freaking toe. This should probably, to wrap up the NFL news of the week, probably should be
Sum things up appropriately.
Well, this should be the latest installment of Frenzy 5-0. As Antonio Brown extradited from Dubai down to Miami through, I believe, New Jersey. For some reason, they flew.
It's the way whatever worked.
Yeah, with the way the flights are right now, I don't know. It's a mess. But this goes back to the shooting, this mob scene that happened, I believe, after a fight down in Miami. And now he's finally been charged with attempted murder.
Yep. Well, gee, Antonio, if it was self-defense and you can prove it, why did you flee the country?
And here's how much I love our justice system. Note sarcasm. Out on $25,000 bail.
That's it.
Oh, and he's got a GPS tracker.
Ooh, he's still a scumbag.
All right, so now we move on to this week. NFL Week 11. We're not picking the Thursday night game. That's another debacle between the Jets and the Patriots.
Yeesh.
I am very happy to have the Patriots defense this week on my fantasy team. Sorry.
As you should
Dave and I
be.
are playing each other this week, so I shouldn't talk. I shouldn't throw that much smack at him. That's not fair.
No, that's all right. I picked up the defense going against the Titans.
Well, there you go. That should be pretty good,
That
too.
should be decent.
Yep.
So, all right. Kicking off in Madrid.
Our final 9:30 in the morning game, kids.
Yep, the Commanders and the Dolphins. We have 6 of our 8 picks in.
We didn't even talk about your Dolphins.
Putting a smackdown on the Bills.
Yeah, because we didn't pick the game. We thought it was going to be a blowout the other way.
Yeah. We thought Bills are going to destroy the Dolphins. Nope.
Nope.
Miami
30
showed up.
30-13. The Dolphins destroy the Bills, causing all sorts of, basically helping the Patriots out a lot.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, now we wonder about the Bills.
What's going on there? Well, we know the main problem. their coach is an idiot.
And now the Dolphins actually have a fairly easy stretch here where they could probably get back to 5-7 or 6-7. Because it seems like that Mike McDaniel has not lost.
Maybe he hasn't lost the locker room.
But can I point something out, by the way? Can I just point something out about
that he's in
about Mr.
doofus.
Capri Pants? Comes out today because, of course, he's playing Dan Quinn.
I gotta thank Dan Quinn for my sobriety.
Can I just point something out here?
Maybe he doesn't drink, but he sure smokes a bowl.
Yeah, how is he sober? That's not sober! That is not sober! That's substituting one vice for another.
Exactly.
Don't tell me, potheads, that marijuana doesn't count. Bullshit!
Alcohol's a crutch, man. Bullshit.
Yeah. Wait another
Same
10 minutes
damn thing.
and I'll crack another beer and tell you, you potheads are all fucking wrong. Mike McDaniel is not sober.
No. Sober would be nothing.
He's alcohol free. He's not sober because he smokes like a fiend. Anyway, rant over. 6 of our 8 panelists with their picks in.
All of us taking the Dolphins. That dinged up Washington team.
Yeah, how can you not take the Dolphins?
The way they've played the last little bit, and as bad as the Commanders have been. No
Yep.
Jaden Daniels. Just bad.
Yep. Then we've got the Panthers at the Falcons. Panthers are 5-5, and the Falcons, I believe, are 3-6.
Yeah, at home I have a little more faith in the Falcons.
And I think the Panthers have been doing the whole smoke and mirrors thing. I really do. Outside of Rico Dowdle, if it wasn't for him,
There's nothing.
They would have maybe 2 wins.
Yeah.
So everybody of the 6 panelists we've got in taking Atlanta.
All right.
And another one across the board.
Buccaneers at the Bills. We all have the Bills on the comeback.
Yeah, this hurts, but multiple reasons why here. Number one, I don't know how the Buccaneers, it might not be disastrous weather, but it's definitely not Tampa weather.
Yeah.
The Bills are going to be on a mission, even with an idiot head coach. They're going to be on a mission to
They got to right the ship.
take last week out on my poor Buccaneers. This is why I said towards the beginning of the podcast, Buccaneers will be 6-4. And thank God the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints suck, and they're going to hand the division again to Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers.
All right. Then Bears go up to Minnesota today to take on the Vikings. 4 Bears picks, 2 Vikings picks. You and Sam taking the Vikings.
Just got a bad feeling. I have just got a bad feeling about this game. The Bears have been on this nice long streak. It's going to come to an end, and I got a bad feeling it's going to come to an end this week.
Can't be against a bad Vikings team.
They should have beat them the first time
They
around.
should have, and I think they might have learned their lesson. McCarthy is not playing very well.
But the Bears let these quarterbacks...
They give them enough leeway.
The defense right now, Dennis Allen's defense is very, very bendy and don't breaky.
They need to shore it up a little bit
I'm
more.
more worried about Brian Flores beating the hell out of Caleb Williams, which, like you pointed out, they're not calling these shots on Caleb Williams, and you've got a
and where the hell is
defense.
Ben Johnson not blowing a fucking gasket over that?
But that doesn't work in the NFL. You know that. It doesn't work. You can get
it does
mad.
for certain coaches.
I just have a bad feeling that this is going to be the start of a little mini slide for the Bears. I still think the Bears are going to get the 8-9, 9-8, which is a successful season.
From what they have been. Yes. So, I don't know. I have a little more faith. We'll see. Right.
I'll tell you who I have more faith. I think they're going to be better against the Packers.
Yeah.
I think I have more faith in the Vikings offense right now with J.J. McCarthy than I do with that Packers offense.
Potentially. All right. Chargers go to Duval to take on the Jaguars. Chargers for the 6 of us. No faith at all.
Not after last week. I don't see how you can have any faith in the Jaguars. No. And now I think we're firmly getting to the point now where it's time to start indicting Trevor Lawrence.
You have to.
If you haven't already bailed on him, I think we're getting very, very close for the last Trevor Lawrence fan to say.
Yeah. And I think when they signed him to that big deal, we fucking told you it was awful.
Yeah. Yep. And again, Liam Cohen's just starting out as a head coach. I get that. But now he's going up against...
That front office has been abysmal.
And you've got all the injuries in terms of the receivers. I still don't like the running backs. I don't like Travis Etienne all that much.
No. Was never a big fan of his.
And you have got, this case, you do have one of the top head coaches opposing him in Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. So, Chargers.
And Harbaugh knows what's at stake. Now, the Jaguars are just going to fade off. Like I said,
yeah, they've got nothing to play for.
The Colts are going to cruise through December, not having to worry about anything other than maybe home field advantage. But they're going to win the South.
Yeah. That's a foregone.
But Harbaugh knows he's got to fight off the Chiefs. He's got to try to catch the Broncos. He might get some help here this week in one of our games coming up.
We'll have to see how that rolls. But the Chargers are playing good ball.
Yep. How about Kamani Vidal stepping in as what, the third or fourth running back?
Yeah. He's done a nice job for him.
Yep.
All right.
This is the game that I alluded to earlier. That God help me, it won't be, because I think the other game will be the national game, the one we got coming up next.
Yeah.
But this Seahawks at the Rams at SoFi Stadium. I want to see this
NFC
game.
West showdown.
The Seahawks, the last couple weeks, have been annihilating people.
Yeah.
Last week,
their defense has been stout, and the offense has been productive as hell.
Last week, they sat their starters on offense, I think, over a half. Because Sam Darnold only had to throw 12 or 13 passes. I mean, it was ridiculous. I'm looking at Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he jumps out to like 15 points in the first 5 minutes. Like, oh my God, I could get 40 points out of him. And he ends up with 20 because they had such a huge lead.
What was the point? You might as well get everybody else some more.
And it's the second week in a row this has happened.
Yeah.
I mean, they are crushing people.
They're clicking big time right now.
That's why this game is going to be
phenomenal.
God, I want to watch this game. Now, here's the thing, though. It's at SoFi, and now the level of competition bumps up a little bit for Seattle and Sam Darnold. How does he handle it? The Rams look like they're going to come in healthy. The Seahawks look like they're going to come in healthy.
Home field advantage, baby. That's the deciding factor for me.
Yep, so you and me, Sam and Bill take the Rams. Doug and Aaron take Seattle.
All right. 49ers at the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals were the victims of that annihilation by the Seahawks last week. And
without
as I
Harrison Jr.,
yeah.
Bye-bye. Niners get this one.
Yep. Everybody, all 6 of our picks that are in, go with the Niners. This is the other game where I think this is going to be your national game, and it's going to keep us from being able to watch the Seahawks-Rams because, the Chiefs.
We gotta have the Chiefs. It's either the Chiefs or the Cowboys. They have to be national.
Now, this is a big game. I will admit. It would be nice if we could have both. And pick and choose, or flip back and forth.
It would be nice.
The Chiefs at the Broncos. As ugly as that game was last Thursday, the Broncos are 8-2, kids.
They win ugly.
Because that is a fantastic defense. Now, at home, do they have enough to beat the Chiefs? Because if the Chiefs lose again, keep in mind, despite all of the negativity, we've been ripping into Jacksonville all throughout this show. Jacksonville holds the tiebreaker against the Chiefs. They beat them head-to-head. So
granted, it was early on when the Chiefs were still finding their way.
Yeah, they had no Rashee Rice at that point. But now the Bills just beat the Chiefs with Rashee Rice back in the fold.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're getting with the Chiefs.
Which Chiefs team are we going to see?
And they are on the road in
Their
a hostile
backs are
environment.
against the wall, though.
Exactly.
This is when they show up.
And, of course, they will get every call, every close call.
Every single call, even on the road.
And I think the big thing is, despite the fact you've got a great defense on the other side with the Broncos, you've got a good defense in Kansas City. And Bo Nix has not looked good this year.
No, he's scuffled a bit.
He's taken a step back, just like Jaden Daniels has. Just like C.J. Stroud did in his second year. The sophomore slump now with these young quarterbacks. Thank God
Going to the junior slump for Stroud?
Yeah. Thank God Caleb Williams has at least gotten a little bit better or maintained.
With the new coach, he's kind of...
And I think that's why, is because he got a better coach in to change his attitude. Yep, I think Aaron's going to descend.
Aaron's on Bronco Island right now.
Yep, everybody else agrees that it's panic time for the Chiefs, and they will, again, get all the calls, and they will find a way to win.
All right. Then we have the Lions at the Eagles.
Toughest game of the week in the NFL to pick.
Yes, and it's a split decision.
Yep. You and I and Aaron are taking the Lions. Sam and Bill and Doug are taking the Eagles. Here's my logic and see if you agree with it. Short week for the Eagles, number one. Dan Campbell now calling the plays for the Lions. Offense looks a little better. I've got to believe that Dan Campbell is going to have this team fired up and tell them, listen, we're better than 6-3. We're tied with the Bears. We should be winning this right now by 2 or 3 games. We need to show the NFL this week, beat the defending champions. They're not looking all that good.
No. Coming off that shit show against the Packers, you've got dissension on offense.
A.J. Brown again.
A.J. Brown bitching and pissing and moaning.
Yep.
Well, gee, when they do throw to him, he doesn't catch the damn ball. So it's on him as much as anybody else.
Yeah, and they've got Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, they're fine.
Jalen Hurts seems like he's fine throwing the ball to them.
Yeah, they're holding on to the ball.
I just think this is a statement game for the Lions. They need this game.
Yeah, they need it a lot more. And at this point, I think Dan Campbell's a better coach.
I agree. And what is up with Sam?
2 weeks in a row picking against his Lions.
Unbelievable.
I think he's trying reverse psychology on this.
Wow, he's acting like a Bears fan.
So, there we go.
Yep, like Dave said, split. Right now, 3-3 with 2 picks still pending. Of course, don't forget, check out the Facebook page. All of our picks will be posted by Thursday night before that game.
Yep. Then we have the Monday night shit show. Cowboys at the Raiders. Cowboys across the board. Their offense is so much better. That's going to be the difference.
Yeah, but their defense is porous. So you could see a big game for Ashton Jonty. Hopefully a big game for Brock Bowers. But I've never liked Geno Smith. No. I have never, ever liked Geno Smith. And I think it was a bad decision to bring, not bringing Pete Carroll in, but his attachment
to Geno Smith. I don't get it.
And I understand why he was smart enough to get away from Russell Wilson when he did. But why replace...
You got a good couple of good years out of Geno Smith. That's all he had in him. He's done.
Yeah, he's a career backup to me.
Yeah.
Yet somehow he gets the start now with Seattle and now with, the Raiders.
He had, 2 really decent years in Seattle as a starter?
Yeah.
And that was about all you could expect out of him.
Yeah. No, I don't get it. I think we're going to see a little bit more scoring this time around with the Raiders, but we're going to see a lot more with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right, kids.
Take the over on this one, kids.
We'll move on to NCAA football. We won't cover every game that we picked, but we will, of course, get the highlights. Memphis, last Friday night, November the 7th, blew their chance.
They screwed up
they
badly.
They could have been that one automatic qualifier for the 12-team playoff coming from the group of... Is it group of 5 or group of 6? I thought it was
a group of 5.
But now I heard somebody else
Maybe
today call it
six?
group of 6.
I don't know. They keep changing everything.
The second-tier teams.
Yeah.
They get one qualifier into the playoff. Memphis was in the driver's seat for that. And, of course, we all went down together.
All 8 of us took Memphis, and Tulane won 38-32. Balls.
So now that puts James Madison and South Florida in the driver's seat for that one final bid.
Yep.
Texas Tech is showing up this year.
They are. They took BYU out 29-7. We said this was the time where BYU would falter.
Yep.
We expected Texas Tech at some point to maybe stumble, but we knew it was BYU's time.
Yep. Texas A&M continues to win. They knock off number 19 Missouri at Mizzou.
38-17.
So I think it's about time we said Texas A&M is for real.
I think it is. They've got a coaching staff that's got those guys believing in themselves. They've got a pretty damn good offense and a decent defense.
Damned if Kirk Ferentz didn't try to do it again.
Good Lord, this was ridiculous.
Oregon 18, Iowa 16.
Field goals, field goals, field goals.
I'm gonna tell you, this is not a huge stretch. If Oregon gets into the playoffs, they're out in the first round. I don't think they're that good this year. I don't think they're that good this year.
Yeah, they're not a number 6 team. I'm sorry.
Some of the other games we're going to skip over. I would like to point out, by the way, what the fuck happened with Kentucky and Florida?
I have no damn idea. Kentucky destroys Florida 38-7? What the hell? I got nothing.
No, but of course my pick of UCLA pulling the upset against Nebraska didn't come through. And then you came through with Hawaii.
Hawaii!
Obliterating San Diego State 38-6. So as I said, I was great in the pros, and I was, 5-5 in college. Typical maestro. Typical maestro.
That's what happens.
In other college football news, of course, Notre Dame beat Navy 49-10. They are in both the AP and the CFP, 7-2 record. They are 9th.
You know, I still have some issues. Yes, BYU just lost their first game. You still have 2-loss Notre Dame, 2-loss Texas, 2-loss Oklahoma ahead of BYU. And then you've got Miami ahead of Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech, leading the ACC, isn't in the top 12.
The second part, I agree with you on. The first part, I didn't see Miami ahead of Georgia Tech. Miami is 16th.
In the rankings, when I was
Miami
looking
is
earlier...
16th in the AP, 15th in the college football. I thought Georgia Tech
let me take a
was
look.
ahead of them on both.
Maybe I looked at that wrong, but I thought...
Miami, of course, beat Syracuse 38-10 to move to 7-2. And of course, they
the
get
CFP, Miami's 15, Georgia Tech 16.
Okay.
In the AP, they do have Georgia Tech ahead of Miami.
Okay, so I was thinking of the AP.
Yeah.
But either way, it doesn't matter because Georgia Tech is in better shape to go to the ACC title game than Miami. Miami has lost 2 games in the ACC. They've still got to win out and hope for help in terms of SMU losing, Virginia losing, Louisville losing, and of course Georgia Tech losing. If they're going to have a snowball's chance in hell, because I think you're only going to get one ACC team in.
The way it's looking right
Yeah.
now, yes.
By the way, Notre Dame, kudos to them for at least scheduling a halfway decent opponent for a home and home, 27-28, Auburn. So
That should be decent.
first time ever that these teams will meet.
Which it boggles the mind, the history of college football.
Yeah. Yep.
So, how about that ongoing LSU Brian Kelly saga? Now LSU's saying they haven't officially terminated Brian Kelly. They're just negotiating the buyout that, Woodard didn't have the authority to fire him. Hello, it came down from the governor's office. And now they're trying to say, oh, well, we're firing him with cause. What cause? There's nothing there. LSU's trying to save money. They don't have a case in this.
I couldn't have said it better myself. You basically hit on every point I was going to hit on when it comes to this. And God help me, I don't want to see
Southern school, corrupt Southern politics at its worst here.
Yeah. God help me. Everybody who knows me should know I don't want Brian Kelly to get $54 million for doing a terrible job. But LSU gave him the contract.
Yep, they signed him to it, and they did relieve him of duties.
And like you said, usually if somebody is going to get fired for cause, they need to have violated rules, they need to have done something borderline criminal. That's when you get fired for cause.
There's
There's
no sexual misconduct stuff going on.
Right.
There's nothing illegal. There's no recruiting violations. I mean, he's graduated. He's got the graduation up pretty decent for him.
Yeah, this, like I said, you hit everything perfectly. There is no, all these buyouts suck. We all admit it. They're more money than these guys deserve.
Stupid money is being given.
Terrible jobs. Yes, Brian Kelly did a terrible job. But now LSU and the state of Louisiana.
A terrible job in their eyes. His records haven't been abysmal.
Right.
They just have expectations that are unrealistic down there.
I'm with you. I don't see how they get out of paying him the $54 million. I don't see how.
Ugh. Absolutely ridiculous.
Now, we do have a school that actually got in trouble.
We do.
Michigan State. Michigan State will be on probation for 3 years, the football program.
Vacating 14 wins.
Because this all stems from Mel Tucker's regime, even though it bled over into the current coach's tenure last year because
of the 3 players that Tucker and his regime brought in illegally.
Yep, 3 ineligible players. Yep, from Mel Tucker. And then I do have to point out, I did.
Who was fired for cause with his sexual misconduct.
Now, see, LSU, maybe you should look at Michigan State to figure out what for cause means. And then finally, I did watch the IU Penn State game Saturday. Good Lord, that catch from Omar Cooper Jr.
That was ridiculous.
One of the best catches I've ever seen. In a clutch situation.
Getting that toe down, unbelievable.
Now, everybody, though, rightfully so. Yeah, my mute button was getting worn out this weekend because, of course, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo had to do that Buccaneers-Patriots game. And then I had to deal with Gus Johnson. Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Jesus Christ, finally people are coming around to my point of view and realizing
Gus Johnson's an idiot.
Gus Johnson's awful, and it's all about him. He is trying to be the focal point of each and every game, not the players on the field. He's trying to make himself the star. He's a lonely, bitter man. I guarantee he's not married. I guarantee he's got nobody in his life. This is all he's got.
Ugh. Awful to listen to.
He is terrible.
Get him off of national broadcasts, please.
And I feel so bad for Joel Klatt, because Joel Klatt is actually a really good analyst, and he's stuck with that raving lunatic.
Please get him out of here. Please get him out of here.
For all of our sakes. Now, the other thing I took away from the IU Penn State game, some people are talking about Penn State's got their coach. Come on.
No.
Okay, they've been playing fairly hard for him since James Franklin got fired. Let's not
overreact.
Penn State's going to bring in a big gun.
They're going to try to bring in a big gun.
And then in 4 years, they'll fire him and have to pay him $100 million.
Exactly.
But a lot of talk about IU's quarterback Fernando Mendoza being
a Heisman candidate,
and if not the top pick in the draft, NFL draft next year, a top 3, top 5 pick. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think this is going to be a very overrated class. Teams are going to panic. You've got the Jets who are going to panic. The Browns who are probably going to panic again. Where what they should do is go after Mac Jones, somebody like that. Wait for a better quarterback class.
This is not a strong quarterback class.
No, they're talking about 2027 would be the class where you're going to get the run like we had last year with Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix. You're not going to get that this year.
You got to wait to see who can step up. You got some young quarterbacks who have some talent. They need more developing.
Yeah. This is going to be one of those. Remember when the 49ers stretched for Trey Lance and how that turned out?
Failed miserably.
Zach Wilson with the Jets. We're looking at a year, I think, like that. I'm not trying to rip on Fernando Mendoza. He just didn't impress me in this game. Great throw at the end to Cooper.
But that was more the catch than the throw.
Yeah.
That was all receiver.
Overall in the game, I was not impressed with what I saw from him.
No.
He's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good. I'm rooting for IU, but I don't see him as a top 3 or top 5 pick in the draft. No. This is a year where you go for an edge rusher or an offensive lineman.
Do you really see a top quarterback from any of...
No, because I don't think Arch Manning's coming out.
No, he shouldn't.
And then, the kid Aller from Penn State.
Hurt.
Injured. Nussmeier from LSU, underachieved. Carson Beck, underachieved.
The kid from Alabama who's kind of taken over...
Ty Simpson.
By default, because he couldn't beat out the other two who were ahead of him. He's not all that.
You have got to, and I know there are a lot of weenies in the front offices and NFL teams. You have got to be strong. At some point, don't
buy into drafting these guys in the first round.
Don't panic and don't listen to social media and don't listen. I hate to say this, fans. Sometimes it's better not to listen to the fans.
Exactly.
Because they want the flashy shiny new toy. They want the quarterback when...
Yeah. How about you actually wait for a quarterback who can prove durability, sustainability for multiple seasons at the college level?
Sometimes it's better to get the stud edge rusher. Sometimes it's better to get the solid left tackle who will protect your future quarterback for 10 years.
Maybe you need that center who can direct everything.
Exactly. So I think this is going to be, the 2026 NFL draft is going to be extremely interesting to see. Are the Jets going to do the typical Jet thing, jet all over themselves in panic? Are the Browns going to do the same thing?
Brown themselves again?
Yes. Start acting like you want to get better. Start acting like the smarter organizations and hold off.
Build your lines.
All right. With all that being said, it is time for us to move on to our picks for NCAA. We're almost done.
I know, just a couple weeks to go.
NCAA football week 12 picks, kids. All right, kids, so college football picks for this week. And through the miracle of modern technology, having computers and tablets and phones all around us, the final two stragglers, panel members, got their picks in as we were recording the first segment. So unfortunately, you're still going to have to go on the Facebook page for their NFL picks, but
you got their college picks, baby.
So all 8 of our expert panelists have their college picks in now. And we start off with Friday night, November the 14th, Clemson at number 19, Louisville. We just talked about the ACC and what a mess it is.
The chaos that reigns.
So Louisville needs this badly. Clemson needs it to basically try to stay bowl eligible, get to bowl eligibility.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if Clemson pulled this off, but I can't take them. I have no faith in that team, especially on the road.
This is one of those years where I don't have faith in almost every team.
There is that, too.
I don't have faith in Clemson or Louisville. But I'm just going to go week by week here based on how they looked last week. I will take Clemson. Sam is with me. The rest of you mooks are taking Louisville.
Yep. Wow. Should be a decent game. Number 9 Notre Dame at number 23 Pittsburgh. Nobody bit on the Panthers.
Yeah, this is Saturday, November the 15th. I did see one or two quote-unquote experts who took Pittsburgh, but doesn't seem like there's a lot of support out there for them.
Not really. We'll see.
Yeah, the point spread's gone up from 10.5 now to 12.5, so...
Yeah, that doesn't bode well.
I'll tell you what, though, I am done for this year with paying attention to the movement of the point spreads.
It doesn't do any good.
No.
The movement means
even
nothing.
If there's a game where there's a huge point spread, we've been burned on those week in and week out anyway.
It doesn't matter.
But yes, everybody's taking the Fighting Irish. Arizona seems like they end up in our picks every week because they're one of those teams that just does enough to make things interesting week in and week out.
And I've got the grass skirt and coconut bra this week. I'm on Arizona Island.
As they go to Cincinnati to play number 22 Cincinnati. Yep, Dave is on an island boy. Everybody else taking Cincinnati.
Just one of those feelings that it's ripe for Cincinnati to drop one.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me a bit. Arkansas at LSU. 2 vastly underachieving teams who have both fired their coaches this year.
Yep. One more talented than the other. So, we have 2 picks for Arkansas, Jen and Doug. The rest of us taking the more talented LSU team.
Still not a huge point spread, though.
No.
5.5. Then arguably the game of the week, number 11 Oklahoma at number 4 Alabama. I think Kalen DeBoer has gotten over the speed bumps from his first year and a half. I think he's proving that he was the right pick for the Crimson Tide.
They've caught some teams at the right time, too.
Right. Yep. Oklahoma, they're better, but I still think they're inconsistent.
Way too inconsistent. I would have been tempted to take Oklahoma in Oklahoma.
Yeah, but as it is in Alabama, everybody except
Jen and Doug again.
Yep, they're taking the Sooners. Everybody else going with the Crimson Tide. We've got a split here on number 20 Virginia at Duke. You want to talk about two teams I don't trust?
I know. This is just, yeah.
Every time I pick Duke, they burn me.
Virginia hasn't done us any favors either. This is one of those where no matter which team was ranked, I was going to pick against them. So, I'm taking Duke on that principle alone.
But Sam is with you, Bill is with you, and Nick is with you.
Yep.
Virginia for me, Jen, Doug, and Aaron. I'll say this. I hope I'm wrong. Because if Duke wins, knocking Virginia down again in the ACC, that helps Miami.
It does.
That's why I want Clemson to come through against Louisville, too. I want mass chaos in the ACC, get Miami in the title game, get us in the playoff.
Maybe.
It's a long shot. It is a long shot.
All right.
Iowa, again, another one of those teams that seems to bleed into our picks every week.
Ugh. Iowa at number 17 USC. No faith in Iowa.
No. Great defense, but no offense.
None. And that's the problem with Iowa. That's the problem with the Kurt Ferentz-led teams. They never have any offense.
Even though he's supposedly an offensive genius.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Can you actually change from being an offensive genius to a defensive genius?
Well, isn't that how it usually goes? You have an offensive specialist, usually it's a defense that's better. You have a defensive guy, usually it's the offense that's better. It makes zero sense.
Yep. Trojans across the board. Memphis at East Carolina.
Curse you, Memphis! Yet I'm taking you again.
Nope. East Carolina, I did my deep dive on the stats, which of course doesn't help me at all. But I believe East Carolina is better as an offense and as a defense than Memphis. So
East Carolina for you, Sam and Bill. The rest of us going with Memphis.
There you go. Right up there with the Oklahoma-Alabama game. Number 10, Texas at number 5, Georgia.
That's a schizophrenic Texas team.
Yep.
Arch is not ready to
We're still
lead.
not hearing firm, complete dismissals from Steve Sarkisian in terms of the rumors that he's going to be up for some of these pro jobs. This is another one like the Oklahoma-Alabama game where if it was flipped, I might take Texas.
Yeah, but it's a home
not
game.
on the road. Nope, not against Georgia.
Nope, but Doug and Jen again taking Texas. Some of these picks are based on principles.
Yeah, I think that's why she took Arkansas. I know how much she loves Brian Kelly and probably hates LSU just because they gave him another shot.
Yeah, and she despises Alabama, so she took Oklahoma. And she doesn't like Georgia either. All right. Mississippi State at Missouri. Missouri, having gotten a beat down last week, they're still better than Mississippi State. And again, Jen and Doug are taking Mississippi State where the rest of us are taking Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri and Mississippi State both are those hard luck second-tier teams in the SEC. And when you're playing an SEC schedule each and every year, you just get beat down.
Yeah, there's only so much you can take.
Yeah, but Missouri is the better team.
Yep. Then, Kennesaw State at Jacksonville State.
This is a huge game. Why it's on the slate? Huge game in Conference USA. And Dave liked it last week when I was going with some of these smaller matchups.
Exactly.
So,
like it.
yep.
So, Jacksonville State for you and Nick and Aaron. The rest of us taking Kennesaw State.
Same logic I used with East Carolina. Memphis looked at the stats. Jacksonville State better on offense and defense than Kennesaw State. And they're at home.
That's all out the window. You never know.
The one thing Kennesaw State has going for them is they have played tougher competition. With these kinds of teams, you have to look at those first two games because that's when they play the big boys.
Play the big guns.
Yeah,
and how did they fare?
Kennesaw State, I believe, don't quote me on this, but my memory, I believe, if it serves me correctly, lost to Wake Forest by 1, and then they did get blown out by IU. But everybody
yes,
gets
other
blown
than
out
Penn State.
gets blown out by IU. So you do have that going for you.
Yep. All right. TCU at number 12, BYU. Bounce back game at home for BYU.
Yep, everybody agrees except Aaron. He is taking the Horned Frogs.
Island boy.
Yes, you're going to have to give up the grass skirt and the coconut bra to Aaron.
All right. Then we have Boise State at San Diego State.
I am not taking San Diego State after what they did to me last week. I feel like a jilted lover. There is no way I want her relationship to succeed now after she dumped all over me.
That's why I'm taking them at home on a bounce back game.
You and Sam and Bill are taking San Diego State. The rest of us are taking Boise State. No, on principalities. I am not going to go with San Diego State ever again.
As we always say about Iowa State and
Kansas State.
and we wind up picking them anyway. But that's what you get for your college picks on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby. And the UB2B.
And I've already mentioned a couple times, check out the Facebook page. Links to each and every podcast episode, including the weekend edition this coming Saturday morning, your Saturday morning hangover cure, where your Uncle Dave and I will discuss F1. No, I know. You're thinking, what? You're going to talk about F1 in a few minutes here, aren't you?
Yes, but the movie.
Yep, then we've also got a bunch of songs to review, and we'll catch you up with our TV shows. We thought Tulsa King was ending, but there are still 2 more episodes left, so we're going to have to hold off on our Season 3 review of Tulsa King for a couple
we got
weeks.
a few movies.
Yep. Since we're still kind of sort of in the afterglow, smoking a cigarette, laying in bed of college football, I do have a Clint Eastwood Badass of the Week in college football. It's a debatable one, though. USC and Lincoln Riley running a fake punt versus Northwestern last week. Here's where it gets interesting. They ran their punter out, and it turned out it was not their punter. It was their third-string quarterback.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wearing the punter's number. Now, this has gone back and forth, I have seen. Some people say it was legal. Some people say it was illegal because they had in one media source showing that Lincoln Riley did in fact report ahead of time that the third-string quarterback was switching his number. Earlier in the season, he had worn 7. He was switching it to 80, which was the punter's number. And I guess in college football, you can have multiple players
with the same number. You can.
There are other people saying...
Typically, you cannot have them on the field at the same time.
Which they did not. But then you've got others saying it was illegal because they didn't point it out in the right format, or they didn't give it, I guess, to the officials or something.
It's sour grapes.
So, anyway, I thought it was very clever, and I want to give Lincoln Riley and USC my Clint Eastwood Badass Award of the Week in the world of sports.
Rightly so.
Kids, we just talked about Mike McDaniel and his fake sobriety. I would also like to point out that if that's not enough to convince you to drink and partake responsibly, I point to you, Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez has now officially lost his job.
Finally, it took him long enough.
It looks like Drew Brees will be coming back, and he will be replacing Mark Sanchez on that particular team at Fox.
Yep.
So another life lesson, kids. Mark Sanchez had a nice, cushy job.
And he drank himself out of it.
Yep. And hopefully, I haven't heard, hopefully that truck driver is doing very well, getting better.
Hopefully. Ugh.
That's got to go down as the bizarre story of the year.
Yeah.
Got to. All right. Now we get to breeze through baseball and racing because those seasons are technically over.
They are.
In baseball, we do have one new manager. The Padres have hired Craig Stammen as their new skipper. But then, of course, we had awards. More coming this week. But right now,
we have your managers of the year.
Yep.
Repeats.
Both of them.
Both of them, yes. In the NL, Pat Murphy for the Brewers. And in the AL, Stephen Vaught for the Guardians.
Now, back me up on this. We've known each other for 35 years, right?
Yep.
I think I've been fairly consistent. Doesn't matter if we're talking baseball, football, basketball, whatever. I have always said, I think you should include the postseason in these awards.
Yes, you should.
They always want to say, well, that means that they got more chances to do more. Whether it's the players or...
But they took their teams further.
Schneider from Toronto
should have been the manager of the year in the AL.
Stephen Vogt's doing a fine job in Cleveland. I'm not trying to disparage him.
I can't give frickin' Roberts manager of the year with that lineup he's got in LA.
No. In the National League, I think they got it right. Murphy is doing an amazing job with what he's given.
Yeah.
But in the American... Okay, so Cleveland stumbled and bumbled their way into the playoffs again. Great.
But they didn't do anything.
Toronto got within an inning of winning the entire shebang.
Yeah, that should have gone. Ugh.
And then we have the rookies of the year, of course, the anti-Cubs bias among these writers, these voters. National League Rookie of the Year, Atlanta catcher Drake Baldwin.
Bullshit, it should have been PCA. No, wait, he's not a rookie this year. Never mind. Cade Horton. Cade Horton for the way he pitched his ass off this season.
And now I'm hearing, because the meetings are going on, I guess, right now in Vegas. And the Cubs, Hawkins, we're going to prioritize pitching. No shit, Sherlock. Really?
Dumbass. What you should have done last year, what you didn't address at the trade deadline, before the trade deadline.
I told you, they've got it all lined up. I was reading the story, and
they're cutting everything.
He couldn't contain his happiness when they were pointing out to him, well, you've only got Matthew Boyd in 2026, and he's a free agent. Jameson Tyone's done after 2026, and he's a free agent. It's like, this is the plan. I said this, last week?
Yeah.
This is the plan for the Cubs.
They are blowing the payroll. They want to stack the payroll and not have any contracts going into the strikes.
Yep, the work
It's going
stoppage
to be multiple
that we know
years.
is coming. And I'm fine with that. Blow it all up.
It needs to
go
be blown
nuclear
up.
on it. Go nuclear on it.
It has to be decimated.
Because now I'm hearing again, because the Cy Young is tonight, I think. They're going to announce the Cy Young Award winners. They are, it's going to be Skeens in the National League, and they're already talking about where's he going to get traded. Where's he going to get traded? When's it going to happen?
Yeah. Despite Pittsburgh saying, nope, we're keeping him.
Now, the interesting thing about that, they're going to trade him. But where are they going to trade him?
Oh, here you go. Breaking news. Skubal gets repeat Cy Young, Skeens unanimous. So there you go. Back to back for Skubal.
And he deserves it. He does. I still don't like Skeens in terms of wins don't matter. That argument does not fly with me.
That does not hold weight.
That does not fly with me.
Wins do matter.
And it seems like you and I were talking about the MVP in the NFL earlier. At least that doesn't seem like it's predestined to happen. You see, you would have said Mahomes at the beginning of the year, or Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson. Now it's Matthew Stafford, or Jonathan Taylor, or Drake May. But in baseball, it seems like, God damn it, we said Paul Skeens was going to win the NL Cy Young, and
darn it, we're going to make it happen.
Tarek Skubal was going to win again in the American. They would have to go out after a game and kill someone to make themselves ineligible for the award. Because now tomorrow night's the MVP, and we'll discuss that next week.
It's going to be Aaron Judge.
It better goddamn well be the big dumper. It better goddamn well be the big dumper.
Because he got his team further.
But that doesn't count. This is what I'm saying.
I know. He had better numbers overall, other than batting average.
Right.
Big deal. As the stat geeks point out, batting average doesn't matter anymore.
Except if it's Aaron Judge. And by the way, sorry, didn't mean to get off on a tangent there. Well, we did, but American League Rookie of the Year was A's first baseman Nick Kurtz. Sad, sad news in Wrigleyville. One of my favorite Cubs of all time is calling it quits. Even though he was not with the Cubs this past season, the 11 seasons before, he was my favorite Cubs pitcher. The Professor, Kyle Hendricks, is retiring after 12 Major League Baseball seasons. Love me some Kyle Hendricks. Love the Professor.
Yep. Father Time just caught up with him this year.
Yep. If he wants to. I don't know if he wants to, but see, Greg Maddux didn't want to. You look at the Dodgers. Mark Pryor is their pitching coach, for the love of God. But Greg Maddux, you would think, would have been never wanted to do it. See, I could see Kyle Hendricks being a phenomenal pitching coach, but he might not want to do it.
That's the thing.
He would be great at it, though, you would think. But again, you need a personality to get through to people. And Maddux was very introverted, and Hendricks looks like he's very introverted.
So it's not going to be a good fit.
Nope, I hope next year the Cubs have a fitting and appropriate ceremony for the Professor. I do. And then, of course, to wrap things up, scandal, scandal, scandal. The follow-up to the scandal, scandal, scandal. 2 Cleveland Guardians pitchers formally indicted, including arguably the best closer in the game, Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. Now, let me point something out here.
Now, they weren't throwing games, but they were manipulating their prop bets.
Yeah, the prop bet thing.
The props have got to go away.
Yeah, didn't they announce that they were going to limit them? Didn't at least one of the big gambling sites said they were going to limit them?
Yeah. They need to go away.
I mean, come on. We're getting to the point now where I think he's going to throw a ball. I'm putting $500 on it. What the hell is that?
That's just stupid. And that's the thing they were manipulating.
Now, I have not heard about Class A and how that particular prosecution is going, but Luis Ortiz, we talked earlier about Antonio Brown getting extradited from Dubai on attempted murder charges, getting $25,000 bail, right?
Yeah, for attempted murder.
Right. So this whole gambling thing, Luis Ortiz, $500,000.
How fucked up is our legal system?
$500,000 for Ortiz, $25,000 for Antonio Brown.
Gambling
for trying to kill someone
versus attempted murder. Our justice system is so fucked up, it's not even funny.
All right, moving on to racing and NASCAR. Again, not going to cover much because there's not much left.
Really.
But we got a couple things to discuss. To wrap up the Cup season, the Phoenix ratings are in. Not great. A 1.44 rating, 2.774 million viewers. That is not good.
No, it's not.
Overall, the entire 2025 Cup schedule ratings are down 14%.
And that's probably mostly from the NBC coverage.
No, what it is you made it so difficult to find the races, throwing Prime Video and then bringing TBS and TNT back in. Everybody thought it was first half Fox, second half NBC. And then you fractured the middle half up
into stupidity.
So we will see what will NASCAR do in the off season to try to make their product more palatable in 2026. That, of course, will probably mean change the playoff system. Connor Zilic, get this, he hasn't even started his full-time Cup schedule yet, and Trackhouse Racing is already penciling him in 2027 to try the Memorial Day double.
Good Lord.
No pressure. No pressure, Connor. No pressure at all.
Boy, that's a lot for him to shoulder.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Then, of course, we have AMC. Yes, the channel. No, this is not the weekend edition.
No.
Developing a NASCAR drama series called Thunder Road.
Oh, God.
Well, you figure the success of F1, the movie we will be reviewing this weekend on the weekend edition. This is a natural, logical progression.
Sure. Why not?
Too bad. See, I would rather have something like this on HBO Max or Netflix where we can have some nudity and some sex and some really down and dirty stuff.
Controversial.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope. AMC.
Milquetoast.
Basic cable. I know they get away with a little bit, but...
Meh.
Then, of course, I know I said I was going to stay away from this until it actually went to trial, but intriguing development in the 2311 Front Row case against NASCAR. This week, we've had this back and forth with Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske, where they have been petitioning the judge. We don't want to be deposed. We don't want to have to give testimony. And once again, another big win for 2311 and Front Row, where they say, nope, no special treatments.
Nope. Everybody must partake.
Yep. Interesting, though, an observation on my part. And we have Denny Hamlin part of 2311 as an owner.
And he drives for Pence.
Why?
No.
This is what I'm going to say.
Yeah. He drives for Gibbs.
Why is Joe Gibbs not being dragged into this like Rick Hendrick and Roger Penske are? Why is Joe Gibbs being left out? Conflict of interest?
Maybe. Hendrick should be deposed because of his comments after signing the agreement, saying we signed it because we were all beat down.
Yeah, and that should be...
They were bullied in. His quote was, we were beat down in the negotiations, and we just wanted it to end.
They should call that in and use that.
Because it's out there in the media, his quote.
Yep. And then, of course, we did mention F1. 3 races left this past weekend. We had the Brazilian Grand Prix from Sao Paulo. Lando Norris increases his overall lead by winning the Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, did I mention, by the way, the weekend edition, we will review the movie, F1. All right, the NBA. God fucking damn the Orlando Magic to hell. This was supposed to be our year, at least to make a deep run in the playoffs, and they are fucking it up.
Once again, off to a horrendous start.
5-6, and they're playing the Knicks in Madison Square Garden tonight, so I don't have a lot of hope for that outcome. They should be better than this. There's no excuse. For the most part, they're healthy. Mo Wagner's out, but Jalen Suggs pisses me off. We'll get to your favorite player's street clothes in a minute here. But for the Magic's version of street clothes is Jalen Suggs. He's never healthy, never available. All right, I'm gonna say something in bad taste. You know, you kids are used to it by now. Feel bad for Eric Spoelstra, the Miami head coach. His home in Coral Gables was destroyed within the last week here by fire and heat.
I was waiting for it.
Sorry, I had to do it. It hit me the minute I read the story. I'm like, come on, what is that heat? Heat.
Fire. Get it?
Fire.
But in all seriousness, no, just a horrible situation.
God, the focus, because the Heat are playing very well, and he's still coaching, and he's got them on the right path. They're playing better than the fucking Magic, that's for sure.
Yeah, God.
And he just lost his entire house.
Can you imagine? Flight just landed, and you're driving home, and your house is just about gone. Ugh.
Yeah. So, good for him. Good for him that, I mean, obviously he's got a shit ton of money, so he'll be okay.
Insurance, but still.
But it's still a pain in the ass for him and his family. Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Now, I know how much Dave loves it when we talk about building new arenas and how much money is going to come from the taxpayers and how much is going to come from the actual owners of the team, but there is going to be a new arena in San Antonio for the Spurs. Now, they're making a big deal about the fact it's going to be multi-purpose because the rodeos, we need to make sure the rodeos can take place here because that's a big part of the income down in San Antonio. I mean, they're being serious.
It is.
They are being serious.
Yeah. All the PBR stuff that they've got going on.
Now, this arena, $311 million will come from, they're calling it a venue tax. I always thought it was called the tourist tax.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the money that comes from
the tourists staying at the hotels, the restaurants, and yeah.
$489 million coming from the city of San Antonio. However, they signed off on this because they will get it back, supposedly, by charging rent to the Spurs as they are in this new stadium. The team says they are going to contribute at least $500 million, and here I guess this is the big selling point that pushed it through, because of course it had to come up to a vote this past week, election day. They will cover all cost overruns.
Wow.
So that, I think, was the thing that really got it pushed through. Because that was the big deal down in Tampa. That's what scuttled.
Yeah, the cost overruns.
Yeah, the ownership said they would not pay cost overruns, and the city said, well, we're not going to do it. County said, we're not going to do it. There goes bye-bye to the new Rays Stadium. All right, we've already got a significant injury, a season-ending injury in the NBA. One of the most overrated fucking players in the world. Bradley Beal was supposed to be one of these players at the core of this LA Clippers juggernaut that was supposed to, be a major factor in the West.
Yeah, that never showed.
He is done for the season, has to have hip surgery.
Yeesh, that's not good.
And of course the story we've all been waiting for.
Street clothes.
And what I think street clothes is a big reason why we've got this headline. The Mavericks finally decided, why this week, I don't know. Finally decided now it's the time to fire general manager Nico Harrison. I still think, if you people out there don't think there's some bullshit going on behind the scenes here, I think you're out of your fucking minds. I think this is all constructed, all manipulated by the league office.
Yep, by the alien.
There must have been a time frame where they said, wait until a couple weeks into the season, and then when the fans really start getting pissed off, fire him. And then under the table, they're probably giving him $500,000 to go away. Yeah, street clothes. And remember, the trade that's gotten him fired is sending Luka Doncic to the Lakers, because in Dallas, he was a lazy, fat, entitled slob who wanted the max contract, and he would go out and guzzle beer all night and wouldn't keep himself in shape.
But he played every game.
So they trade him to the Lakers, because we got to have star players on the Lakers. And then they take back the most undependable, unreliable player, arguably in the history of the NBA, in Anthony Davis, as we call him.
Street clothes. Thank you, Mr. Barkley.
And he's barely played since he came to Dallas. And now the news comes out.
Oh, we can't rush him back because of his calf strain. We don't want him to rupture his Achilles. Really? Would you miss him that much? At least it would be a legitimate injury, a legitimate reason for him to be out.
And now it comes out that he will not be reinstated to the roster unless the owner of the Mavericks says he's ready.
Bullshit.
Not the training staff, the legitimate medical trained personnel. No, the owner's going to be the one to sign off on it. Ugh. This is a huge conspiracy, I'm telling you people.
Awful.
The NBA wants this. They're trying to figure out a way to reward the Mavericks for letting Luka go to the Lakers. And all of a sudden now Luka is all over the place in every ad. Oh, he's gotten himself in shape.
Uh-huh.
And see, now Cooper Flagg doesn't look all that good. So now they're going to figure out a way to get the Mavericks another top draft pick next year. We're still
It
looking out
reeks.
for you, Dallas, because of what you did for us for keeping the Lakers in the limelight. It's all happening, people. It's not a conspiracy. This
It's
is real. I guarantee it.
Just as real as the stupid-ass new All-Star Game format. Really? We are going to have the U.S. versus the world. But guess what? 3 teams. 2 U.S. teams and 1 international team. How's this going to work with their 8-man rosters? The first 3 quarters, they're going to be considered games. Each quarter is a game in a round-robin tournament. The 4th quarter will be the 2 best teams by point differential playing for the win. Dumb as fuck.
I just want all this all-star bullshit to go away. It's been ruined. It's been destroyed because we've overpaid the players. They don't care about it. I still think if baseball would be the one that could still be legitimate, and I'm one of the few people, you might be with me on this, where we should go back to what it was, where home field advantage was determined in the World Series by who won the All-Star game.
I loved that.
I thought that was brilliant. And of course, oh, the geniuses in the media, that's terrible. That's not the way we should do things.
No, it made it a legit game. Now we're talking to the players as they're trying to make a catch or throw a pitch or hit the ball. It's stupid. Fucking media.
We're starting to get into college basketball real quick, just to keep you kids up on it. Still very early in the season. We've got a split between the AP poll and the coaches poll. Houston is now number 1 in the AP poll. Purdue's still number 1 in the coaches poll. And this is, I would say, the last week, maybe, that you and I can celebrate this. Notre Dame is 3-0 and Miami is 3-0.
And that's about all it's gonna be. But
Micah Shrewsbury's got to get busy, go home and start knocking his wife up. So
to get more players in the future.
Yeah.
On the women's side, badass moment. Grace College put up 172 points in their win against the opponent. 172, a record in college ball. Their opponent scored 98.
Okay, so it wasn't an abject...
It's like a D2 type.
It wasn't an abject humiliation
No.
like we've seen sometimes on the local level where you'll see like 110 to
nothing
4.
or
yeah.
But still, 172 points in a game. That's impressive.
You know what's impressive to me? Your Chicago Blackhawks.
They got on a nice little run over the last week. 3 straight wins. They're sitting 4th in the Central with 19 points at 8-5-3. Connor Bedard is having himself a season so far. He's sitting 4th in points with 25. He's 10th in goals with 9, and he's got 16 assists. So, definite improvement with this new coaching staff.
Are you watching them again?
I have not watched any of the games yet.
Wow. Now that after these
I know they're
dog
playing
days,
well,
these years, you have...
but when they're playing at night, I have to prioritize what I'm watching. I think tonight they're playing the Devils. They are.
So
actually, as we're getting ready for face-off here, as we're recording this, so
home game. I think that's at the United Center.
It's at the United Center. So, as we've talked, we have to prioritize our time. We cannot be slaves like we have been most of our lives.
I know. I'm trying. Saturdays, I'm staying away from college football, and for the most part. I did, again, watch the IU Penn State game.
Yeah.
But that's my day to get things done and to watch movies.
Yeah, I've got...
I'll never give up the NFL. Never. Sunday is
Depending
the
on the
NFL.
game, there's things that come up that I will sacrifice watching sports to get done.
Not the NFL. Not the NFL. Any other sport, yes. Not the NFL.
Nothing
Sundays,
is off the table.
You know where I am on Sundays. I am sitting in front of the TV. For the last time this coming Sunday, from 9:30 in the morning until midnight, I am watching the NFL. All right, so it is time to start winding things down. Do not have a last call this week, so it is going to be moments of silence. And then we have 5 nominees for everyone's favorite award, the Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week. But of course, we have to start off with a very bad week in sports in terms of death and passings. A couple in the NFL and a couple in basketball.
Yep. Good grief.
Of course, I will say this, and I know we're supposed to be solemn here, we're supposed to, but every commissioner gets in the Hall of Fame.
I know. What does it matter?
You know,
It doesn't matter.
Football Hall of Fame Commissioner Paul Tagliabue passed away. Okay. I'm sad for his family, sad for his friends. But Goodell's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so
they
what
all
does it
make
matter?
it. They all make it.
Yeah. There's nothing special there.
Then, tragedy. Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Kneeland, who had just scored a special teams touchdown, I believe the week prior. Another one of these stories where we're talking about a police chase and then a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Because he didn't
and
want
a
to go to
suicide.
jail, because he had mental health issues. What the hell are we doing, people?
Yeah, 24 years old. And of course, we will always stress, as we should all do.
Get help if you need it.
But yeah, I don't know if it's the world that we've brought these kids up in over the last 20 years with the social media, and, it's too hard, life's too hard.
Life's always been hard,
Let's
people.
take the easy way out. We've got to do better. We've got to do better as a society.
Yeah,
And I'm not talking about being a snowflake. I'm just talking about the fact that we have got to stop with the social media bullshit. We got to stop degrading everybody every second of every minute of every day.
Bullying bullshit.
It trickles down from politics all the way down through every level of our society.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
And it's no wonder that we see stuff like this. They either decide to do something like this, or they go the exact opposite way, and they go shoot up a church or a school.
Yeah.
Because somebody won't let me be the gender I want to be. Jesus Christ. But thoughts and prayers to the NFL and the Cowboys and Marshawn Kneeland.
His family and friends.
Yep.
That's just devastating.
On the basketball side of things, Hall of Famer Lenny Wilkens passed away. Of course, great player and phenomenal coach.
Yes.
And then Michael Ray Richardson, another cautionary tale, had so much talent, 4-time All-Star, then he was suspended for life by the NBA for being a 3-time drug offender.
Yeah. Just...
And I believe
It's a sad
eventually they
situation.
came to him and said, after a couple years, we'll go ahead and reinstate you. And he said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Played overseas and...
Thoughts and prayers to their families and friends.
All right, Dave, what time is it?
It's time to pivot And it's time to pivot and award the golden boot up the ass.
And as I mentioned, 5 nominees this week for the Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week in the world of sports. Let's start off with the Manning cast, shall we?
Let's.
Which really, I don't think I've ever watched more than 5 minutes of it. I don't know. I am a traditionalist in that sense, that I would just rather listen to Buck and Aikman, the one good team that does football. I'd rather listen to them than... Why can't they do the Manning cast when Romo and Nance are on? Then
that would be ideal.
Then I'd watch it.
Why can't we have the McAfee casts at the same time as Nance and Romo?
Yeah. But so the Manning cast, the most bizarre, weird thing this past Monday night, one of their special guests was Disney CEO Bob Iger. What the hell? Is this some kind of a shot at YouTube TV to have him on? Is he going to talk about the whole...
It's more of a shot at the fans. And yet, they didn't even ask him about the whole issue.
No.
Where negotiations are. They dropped the fucking ball.
No. And they claim they had him on because he was a Green Bay Packers fan.
Oh, bullshit.
You couldn't find another famous person other than your boss? Other than your boss?
You had to
be on the
rub
show?
it in everybody's face. And you did not ask the question.
Oh, but we had him on because he's a big Green Bay fan.
No.
And he's your boss!
That was awful.
Terrible decision in a long, long line of terrible decisions by ESPN. Let's stick with the media here.
And shame on Eli and Peyton for being complicit in it.
I never would have thought they would pull this kind of crap. They must not have as much editorial control as you would think over the show, where they can say, no, we're not putting that guy on.
No, there's no point.
Oh,
he signed your
paychecks.
Classless move.
All right. I'm not a fan of this guy. I've said it before. Now, this is going to initially sound like something that would be more apropos for the weekend edition, but stick with me here, okay? NBC has officially canceled Snoop Dogg's New Year's Eve special. Why, you might ask? And why is that on the sports edition and not the weekend edition? Because they're canceling Snoop Dogg's New Year's Eve special so he has more time to prepare and focus for his work on the Winter Olympics. This is why we're fucked up as a society, where we think Snoop Dogg is not only... Okay, fine, he's a rapper. I don't like rap music. I'm sure he's good at it. But the fact we've now made him a cultural icon who's a genius at everything now, including covering Winter Olympics events? Come on, people. Come on! That's like saying Kim Kardashian is a good lawyer. Oh, sorry! Oh, we'll talk more about that on the weekend edition. Go to hockey. Let's go to hockey.
Let's go to hockey. Are we back to the Olympics?
No, we're going to go back to what you snuck in last week because it just popped as we were recording. Alex Ovechkin's 900th goal. But remember, kids, this isn't the 1920s. There are cameras and phones and video everywhere.
Yeah, the goalie.
St. Louis Blues goalie Jordan Binnington thinks he's being sly, obviously trying to pocket the puck of Alex Ovechkin's.
Oh, I was going to give it to him after the game.
Bullshit. Anybody who's looking at the video can tell you thought you were going to get away with something. Idiots. Okay, I've already made multiple multiple statements during this episode about how much I'm going to miss the 9:30 games, whether they're in London or Berlin or wherever. But
Hypocrite.
no, I'd be fine if the 9:30 games were in America. I'd be fine with that. I am not encouraging overseas football, Dave. Let's have 9:30 games here in America.
I'm
fine
all
with
for
that.
it.
But just because we're playing football in another country doesn't mean the rules change. And I would like to see our head referees. Oh, it was travel. I was all foggy because...
No, you're an idiot.
If you kids watched the Colts-Falcons game that was indeed in Berlin this past Sunday, as it went to overtime, you might have heard as they came back from commercial break that, oh, by the way, while we were away, they had to re-flip the coin because referee Cleet Blakeman didn't realize during the initial overtime coin toss that the Colts, technically as the home team, they were not supposed to call. The visitor, that being the Falcons, are supposed to be able to call the coin toss. Blakeman let the Colts call the coin toss. And then as we go to commercial, we come back and they tell us, well, they had to re-flip because they botched the first one. Now, it all worked out for the Colts either way, so the Falcons still falconed all over themselves. But yeah, it would be nice to know that Cleet Blakeman, a veteran referee, a veteran official, realizes that just because we're in a different country doesn't mean the rules change.
Yeah, wouldn't he have remembered that from the start of the game?
Seems pretty basic to me that you know who the home team is, even if it's a designated home team in a neutral site.
Look at the uniforms.
You know who you're supposed to allow between the home and the visitor to call the coin toss. That should be basic for them.
It's officiating 101.
And I can't tell you how hard I had to make sure
You
three
said
different times.
Coin
Yes.
toss.
And I'd say coin toss. All right, and finally, we did say earlier that the racing season for us is over. NASCAR, Cup, O'Reilly, Craftsman, all done. However, this past weekend, the NASCAR Mexico Series was wrapping up. This is a visual thing. I will explain it to you, but in the end, it is visual. I can't do it justice. You might have to go out and watch this. Now, there was an accident. There was a wreck in the Mexico Series race this past Sunday, I believe it was. So you've got a car sitting there. It's hit one of the softer barricades, the safety barricades, and it's sitting there. And then you've got the safety cars coming out to check on the driver.
Right. Yellow flags flying.
First safety car pulls up. No problem. Guy gets out, running to check out the driver. Second safety car comes barreling in from off the picture, slams into the wrecked car.
Oh, God.
You're like, what? By definition, you're a safety car.
What are you doing?
You're hitting the wrecked car. You gotta go see it, kids.
My God.
It is so funny. So funny.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So your 5 nominees for the Red Foreman Sports Dumbass of the Week are the Manning cast for acting like Bob Iger is some kind of an amazing guest. He's your boss. Snoop Dogg having to focus on the Winter Olympics, so they have to cancel his New Year's Eve extravaganza. Jordan Bennington for acting oh so sly and trying to steal Alex Ovechkin's 900th goal puck. Clete Blakeman for botching the overtime coin toss. Almost said coin toss. In the Colts-Falcons game in Berlin. And the safety car in the Mexico series slamming into a crash car, not very safe.
I want to go with that one, but any chance to denigrate the Rat and ESPN, I will take.
Bob Iger?
Yes.
I gotta go with Clete Blakeman. I mean, that's just not forgivable to me. It's not that tricky or that hard of a situation. But those were all good. I like those. 5 very good ones this week.
5 very good ones.
Every once in a while, I will toot my own horn and say I did a good job.
You did a good job this week, but I have to shit on the Rat.
You kids out there, of course, are always more than welcome to chime in. Drop a comment on the Facebook page.
Suggest who would have been your dumbass of the week.
Always want to hear from you. That's your Uncle Dave, the Conquistador Dave Height.
That's your Uncle Kev, the Maestro Kevin Crane.
Once again, don't forget to check out your favorite Saturday morning hangover cure. Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition, where we do the best politically incorrect pop culture commentary week in and week out again every Saturday morning. But until we talk to you then, or next Wednesday night, Thursday morning here on the Sports Edition, say good night to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.